insert generic serial title here, was broadcast from May 23rd to June 13th, 1964. This one's directed by Johnny Crockett, who previously directed one episode of the Lars Hussein-helmed Marco Polo, and similarly won't go on to direct anything else for the show. The writer of Marco Polo, Mr. John Lucarati, is back as well, trying to strike lightning twice with another historical. This one, however, the TARDIS lands in an Aztec tomb, and Barbara, who doesn't mind a little desecration, puts on a lovely snake bracelet. She walks out of the tomb and is taken by the cast of Taking the Power of Juju, all while the other companions pay her no mind at all. The three of them go through the tomb door as well, which locks from the inside, so now they're fucked. They meet the good cop, Otlock, and the bad cop, Oxycontin, who could easily pass for the Joker, by the way. Besides wearing obnoxiously large hats that never fit in a frame, these guys' hobbies include human sacrifice. Lucky for them, though, they meet the goddess Yetaxa, who is, of course, Barbara in disguise. They take on the role of her servants, making Ian a candidate to lead the Aztecian army. He's up against Ixta, though, and too bad for Ian, it's not a best hair contest. All the geriatrics in Mexico are rounded up in the Garden of Peace, which is where the doctor smooth talks a fine Aztecian honey named Kamika, who has a connection to the man who built the temple, hoping to find a way back in. As a goddess, Barbara is made to preside over sacrifices, and she is of course totally against this. But the doctor assures her that she mustn't interfere because consequential history cannot physically be changed by them anyway, which really sets a precedent for the whole fixed points in time mumbo-jumbo the show still adheres to today. Of course she doesn't listen and makes a big scene at the sacrifice. The would-be victim gets upset, telling Barbara, "You ruined my honor, why won't you let me die?" Then proceeds to jump off a balcony. Of course it immediately begins to rain, meaning the sacrifice to the rain god was a success. Toxel says Barbara's a fake and he vows to destroy her. I don't think anything too noteworthy happens in this second episode. Ian invents the Vulcan nerve pinch before Spock, though, training with Ixta. And then later in the episode, Ixta makes a deal with the Doctor because his father built the tomb, so in exchange for plans, the Doctor gives him a little horticulture that'll help him win his fight with Ian. Yes, I think a little horticulture might go a long way. Ian, don't let him scratch you! What? Scratched! It ends up with Ian on a table and Barbara saving his life by threatening to kill Taloxel. And then they don't even give Ixta the victory anyway, even though it wasn't originally supposed to be a fight to the death. Yay, that means they gotta fight again, because we have to prolong the story. 2 more episodes! 2 more! I like Ixta, though. He's a very nice character. He tells Ian, "We could be friends until it's time to die. Next time I will not fail to kill you, buddy." Barbara tells Talak that she's not a goddess because, let's make more bad decisions. Susan, in the meantime, has been being trained at some Aztecian school of antiquated female servitude, where they're trying to force her to marry the perfect victim, who is the next man to be sacrificed. I mean, come on, Susan, it'll only be for a couple days, but no, she's not for it whatsoever, and so they arrest her, and she is to be punished, by death, of course. Oh, and because something to do with drinking hot chocolate, the Doctor is now engaged to that woman in the garden. They're very cute together. I do like the comic relief there and their little chemistry. With her help, the Doctor and Ian have found a panel in the wall that can be moved to possibly get back into the tomb. Ian climbs in late at night, but he's followed by Ixta, who turns pretty fucking evil because he's like, well, this is gonna flood, so let's put this stone back in. And the Doctor just has to be like, okay. And then, oh no, the water's coming towards Ian, I hope he can swim. Ian moves some rocks and he actually gets back into the tomb. He ties some rope in there and takes it with him in order to get back in later. Ixta this whole time thinks that he's killed Ian, and he tells Axel this and Susan, But then Ian comes from behind and knocks him out, and he gets Susan, and they run back to the door, and of course the fucking rope breaks. Now, Tlaloxel and Ixta are worried that the good cop, Ortlok, is going to think that Ian's been resurrected, and that they're godly, and they can do whatever the hell they want. So, they have Ixta knock Ortlok out with Ian's club, and they're all arrested. Barbara convinces Ortlok that it wasn't them, and he's like, you know what? I've had enough of this shit. I'm leaving. And he's gone. So basically, they all get free, meet back up. They're ready to leave. Tlaloxel tries killing Barbara at the end. Ian saves the day. Then he fights Ixta and throws him off a fucking balcony. Damn, Ian, you are a cold-blooded killer. They escape, and goes on to sacrifice more and more and more. Barbara's upset, but hey, at least she made Ortlok's life better, I guess. And then they poof away in the TARDIS, and the scanners say they're moving but still, and they don't know what the fuck's going on. And because they're inside a ship, whoa. Or maybe it's a dragon's belly. Find out next week. The serial is just not as good as Marco Polo. It's a decent historical. I mean, the Doctor doesn't have much to do. I feel like it's not really a good Doctor serial. Ian and Barbara, really. Barbara and somewhat Ian, yeah, are the big stars here. Susan doesn't really do much. Is totally ridiculous. Ixta I liked, and then at the end he got ridiculous. Ortlok didn't really do shit. Setting, you know, like I said, one of the best things about Marco Polo, I mean, we couldn't see it, but just by the story you could tell there's a lot of settings. Here, I don't know, the tomb? Out the balcony outside the tomb, I guess, whatever it is, some balcony somewhere, like the throne room, kinda. It's all really the same area. The garden, wherever Susan's being taught to be a proper lady, and wherever Ian is training with Ixta. I think that's about it. Just some odd, I don't know, very odd performances. Like, Tlalox's totally out of control, and some of the Doctor love stuff is like just a little awkward or weird, but it's cute. Good camera work, actually. Very interesting dolly shots, things of that nature. Now, The Aztecs is the first and only First Doctor serial on Netflix, and that's definitely where a lot of people are trying out the classic show. Contrary to popular opinion, I don't think this is a good jumping off point at all. I think the First Doctor is totally misrepresented. I mean, what the hell? I mean, if this is your first time watching the First Doctor, and all he does is just flirt with some old lady in a garden, while the other characters do all the other stuff, like, you're not going to want to watch them. I think our past serials have all been better starting points, and it's a wonder why this seems to drag so much, even though it's only 4 episodes. Look, there is still way worse historicals than this upcoming, but I definitely like it less than Marco Polo, and An Unearthly Child, if you want to count that as a historical, and there are some better historicals in the show's future. Though there is a reason why they stopped doing them completely in the middle of the second Doctor's run. So I mean, if you really care, you can watch it. It is right on Netflix. If you have any interest in Aztecian themes, maybe you'll like it. Just not my cup of tea, really, that much. Please like, subscribe, comment, support if you can. Thanks for your time and space. This is Bob Boddingham, dematerializing. Tlaloxel.